guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the Rip Berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk? And I'll add spinach and ginger. And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add chia and hemp seed and definitely booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, one of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made, your way.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Mowat, Gushue, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and off-break curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock.
Hello and welcome to the Saville Shootout here at the Saville Center in Edmonton, Alberta. Round robin action today between Team Jaxon Hiebert and Team Rylan Kleiter. Their second game of the day as we see first stones arriving here for Team Hiebert. They are throwing the red stones. Team Kleiter out of Saskatchewan throwing yellow quite aptly. Marty Thompson and Rory McCusker with you on the broadcast. Welcome aboard early in this sort of truncated competitive season, obviously with the Olympics playing a part, but some early success from Team Kleiter so far this season, who arrive in this matchup certainly as favorites, but as we know in this sport, Rory, the upset opportunities are quite ripe early in the season as everyone is starting to kind of get their legs under them.
The curlers and the commentators and camera operators, both.
I thought we had a good start.
Well
I think that's a good start. I think we're doing well.
That was an excellent intro. Yeah, Team Kleiter getting pretty decked out. They were always popular in Saskatchewan, but the country and the world is getting to know this team. Coming into their full potential, multiple junior winners, multiple slam appearances at this point, and now some Brier appearance under their belt. So all eyes are on Team Kleiter and Team McEwen to bring home a Brier championship for the province of Saskatchewan this year. We're hungry. We want it.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all. Yeah, Team Kleiter semifinalists at the event in Italy last weekend. Lost the semi 7-4 to Team Casper, but certainly a good showing abroad early on in the year as they look to retain that Saskatchewan title and maybe make a little bit of noise at the trials as well. Throwing lead stones here for Team Hiebert, Braden Heim, new lead to this squad. See just how much curl we're getting here at the Saville Center, helping that along towards the center line. That's a nice little rock here from Mr. Hine at lead. So Team Kleiter with the win early on, earlier today rather, in their first game of this event. 6-3 win over Team Parent in the opening game. Kind of favorites in this Saville Shootout, you could say, between them and Jordan McDonald. Team Jordan McDonald, certainly some top Canadian talent here. Be looking to get a nice little win on the board here. You see this nice little carve to get around the corner guard. That's a nice little finish on that yellow stone.
Yeah, some made shots to start things off here. I mean, interesting that Team Hiebert, yeah, without hammer, going to try to stack the middle here. I'm always interested to see with the 5 rock rule what teams do with this particular stone, this 5th stone. It used to be a lot more obvious, but now when you can't peel, you can't collide with guards, this ends up being a decision-making stone. The 5th one of the end.
Nate Burton throwing second. This team here out of Edmonton. As you mentioned, this decision-making stone, this fork of the road at the end, and they're electing to plug up the middle. Now, will this be a little staggered? They do get some decent separation on it, but I think a little bit of opportunity here from Team Kleiter, no?
Very well could be. I'm just checking and seeing, yeah, my scenes aren't set up correctly. We got the sweepers calling the shots, not the rock. So I'm going to take a minute and try to fix that up. It's early season for all of us here.
It's kind of nice to see the sweepers from above, you know, the hand gestures and whatnot. You can infer what they're saying from above. Yeah, that's a good camera angle there as we see Matt Hall, or my apologies, that's Trevor Johnson delivering this stone. No, my apologies, that is Matt Hall. And trying for the double peel, and they will be successful in that. Good movement on that red stone just to kick it out the back there. And now Hiebert in a bit of trouble. They might have to chase after this yellow stone. And looks like the skip there, Jaxon, indicating a little hack waiter there. It's good to see when he puts the broom down. Quite a bit of curl inside out. Lots of room here for Nate Burton to work with on his second and last. Keep this rock straight here. Hine looks pretty tight to the guard, and it will be on it. Be a decent plan B here for this team, who is one of the local squads here out of Edmonton. New squad this year put together. Jaxon Hiebert and Burton had played together previously. They won an under-18 Alberta championship together. Team Kleiter, certainly another young team, but once you start putting apples to oranges there, there's really no comparison to how much more experience this Kleiter team does have. Trying a little hit and roll here. Matt Hall with a nicely delivered stone right on the nose. Maybe that was the intention, as there's a nice situation here for the team throwing yellow stones here in Team Kleiter. Those rocks look awfully even, as now we have the third for Team Hiebert. Noah Mason Wood getting to work here. See just how close they are in terms of their proximity to the tee line. Mason Wood is attempting to start to work these yellow stones back together, or the focus of these stones rather, throughout the rest of the end. Nice carve here from Hine, trying to get some movement, and they will. That's a decent finish under the guard. It will be behind the tee line, but that is a nice little spot for that red stone.
Not sure they could have avoided being behind the tee line. At least now things are grouped together. Could have a double off of the Kleiter stone on the wing. It's a good shot. That's what was called. Off to the races here in the first end. Not a lot of thinking, just doing. Getting in the hack, making confident shots, and in a moderately complicated first end.
Team Hiebert certainly played to pace in their first game. 3 blanks in a row before they eventually were forced to take one against the Dutch team. Big carve here needed from Matt Hall, and they will get it. Now, a little bounce, and how far does this Yellowstone go? Looks like it will be just a biter at the back, so interesting situation here for the team from Edmonton. They can still get another hit and roll here and potentially be buried again.
Probably ideal for Team Kleiter, as long as if they're going to be open, you may as well be all the way on the other side of the rings.
Noah Mason Wood, his second, the 19-year-old from Fort McMurray, Alberta. And this rock is floating out. Will they be able to bring it back enough? They will be exposed, so Team Kleiter with a chance to attack it and get that coverage first off that guard.
Yeah, we're nose hitting our way up and up and up in the ring. So finally, it's high enough that you can realistically get a roll and not leave a pocket for your opponent.
Final stone here for Josh. Mattern, two-time Canadian U20 champion. Out-turn hit. This Kleiter team quite efficient in that really nice control weight. And when I say control, I mean down weight hits, because you have some pretty good sweepers. Case in point there, Trevor Johnson brought that quite a bit. It will still be exposed as we head into Skip Stones and Jaxon Hiebert's first. Attempt just to obviously get rid of that yellow stone beside the broom, and any roll is good. Obviously behind the guard is an ideal situation for that stone.
Yeah, ultimately, you know, you're playing without hammer. You're looking at two opposition stones. They're both open, and there's a guard for you to roll behind. So it's a more difficult than average shot, but there's a chance here to get your team out of trouble. Roll this buried.
First stone here from the young Skip out of Sexsmith, Alberta. And this time, it'll be a little tighter line than his teammate stones. Now, how far can this red rock go? It'll be just past the center line, but still available here for Rylan Kleiter to play something precise and get a little bit more separation and make Hiebert's even harder here in a second shot.
Still pretty good. I mean, you've grouped these two together. It's going to require a pretty specific roll for Rylan not to leave a double. I'd be taking that for my first shot of the game all day.
Wouldn't be the only one here. Rylan Kleiter, Skip, as mentioned, they won the Saskatchewan Tankard last year, representing Saskatchewan. First time for this very young squad, lots of potential. Two great sweepers with them there as well in the hack. First of two here from the reigning Saskatchewan champion Skip. Carvable, but it will just be dead nose. It seems like both teams have struggled with their line on their hits, even with this down weight, Rory, where you're seeing the rocks float out a little bit more than expected.
Yeah, that's becoming a bit of a trademark of the Saville Center ice. I've noticed that from many events that we do out here. The draws will give you some good finish, but it's very sensitive with the weight. It's tough to chase on this ice, even with hack weight. It's really tough to get bite out of the rocks, get flops inside, even control the rock as you throw hits. So definitely the control weight and down weight hits, not as much movement as some of these teams are used to.
Something to watch for here on Jaxon Hiebert's final stone, throwing the in-turn across center line. Crucial double opportunity here to avoid a deuce here in the first end. Big carve over required, and they will jam that yellow stone.
Oof.
Very disappointing, super close here from the young Skip. Unfortunately, looks like they're destined to give up two. Really good attempt though from this team.
It's a good start from Hiebert for sure. It's not like they particularly missed a lot of shots this end. It's, you know, without a center guard and without making Kleiter chase for too long, those are two pretty good attempts from the Skip.
So Rylan Kleiter settles in here, anywhere in the paint for the deuce. Great spot to be if you're a Skip, especially early in the game. Let's get that point on the board. You see the broom down right away just to ensure that it is a nice and even path. And it looks like this will sail into the ring. So Team Kleiter will take a 2-0 lead here going into the second end against Team Hiebert. We'll be right back from the Saville Center.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing.
And welcome back to the Saville Shootout here at the Saville Center in Edmonton, Alberta. Round robin play between Team Hiebert and Team Kleiter, and it is Team Kleiter throwing the yellow stones who picked up the deuce in the first end. And we have Team Hiebert now with their first attempt with the hammer. Our second game here at the Saville Shootout. Barty Thompson and Roy McCusker with you here. You see the corner guard coming up here from Braden Hine. It'll run just a little deep, and they'll elect to get that into the rings. It will actually fall quite a bit deeper than even anticipated there, it looks like. Just above the tee line.
Yeah, just when I was thinking it was a little too early for curling, the weather really turned out west here. It's a big chill in the air. I bet a lot of people had to turn their furnace on for the first time today, so producing some curling, I guess. It's in the season. I'm ready for it.
We had the same thing happen in Ontario, trust me. Summer league starts, and then it's like, oh, this is odd. And then after 2 or 3 games, you're like, oh, yeah, no, this is... once you get that little breeze going, that's all you really need for a personal excuse to curl. So
these teams at the Saville, they have ice all year round. So no excuses for Edmonton-based teams. It really doesn't even have to be an off-season if you don't want there to be.
Yeah, such a unique position in this country to have that opportunity with year-round ice. And this is one of those teams that surely has taken advantage of it here, the local side in Hiebert. Chance for the hit and roll here. Maybe the double. Oh, it's so close there. Braden Hine with the chance for the elusive lead double, but wasn't on for him there.
Yeah, opportunity missed. You only get so many chances at a double or hit and roll at the lead position. He'll be waiting a lot. He'll be waiting a while for his next chance.
I'm gonna act like I can't remember the exact last time I made a double as a lead, but at least 2 years by my approximation.
Oh, you gotta hang them on the. Take a picture and hang it on your fridge.
Great chance here for Team Kleiter to control the middle. And Hall's first will sail to just about edge to edge in our picture. It will sail. It's a little farther than they would have liked. And now Nate Burton here throws second for Team Hiebert. Chance to maybe just try to get under there and lock one right on. Bit of tolerance with this shot as well. A couple different ways you could make it.
Yeah, this is a quintessential curling skill. 3 rock, 4 rock, 5 rock, doesn't matter. Kind of early and middle of the lineup, you got to make these freezes. It's how the game of curling goes. 1 rock in front of the other. And so usually, especially in these kind of tie game or low scoring scenarios, this is the game of curling. Making these freezes and taps come around.
Really nice sweep here from Braden Hine. They do get the little tap, but it's in a really good location, and will force Matt Hall to make, as you mentioned, Rory, just that really a key skill in the sport now, and trying to, you know, especially through this part of the lineup as well, like needing to switch into this type of mode as a team and find the draw weight and find the right pass is super crucial.
That's the other side of it as well. If you can keep your opponent away from playing comfortable draw weight, you can gain that type of advantage as well. But as we saw in the first end, pretty balanced end. Played sort of all over the sheet, a bunch of different types of shots. So both teams have seen quite a bit of the ice at this point. There should be not many surprises left on the sheet.
First game here for Team Hiebert. As I mentioned earlier, they went the first 3 ends blanking with the hammer. Some decent shots there to retain that advantage. Then unfortunately they were forced to take one. They eventually lost that game 3-2 to Wittergoosens and the Dutch team, but certainly a team that had lots of time to figure out the ice the first time around and perhaps get used to the conditions of playing in a big event like this. This is a new team and not as much experience as some of the teams they're playing. Time this rock is really taking off on them. It will just careen off the guard. Maybe turn that in a little bit. Maybe didn't get the release he wanted. And looks like the red rock will finish a little closer than the yellow it hit, certainly in the 12-foot.
Yeah, I really pounded that right out of his hand. I knew it was tight right from the get-go, but that is the better way to miss for sure, especially getting lucky enough to roll into the rings. So lucky that Rylan's gonna hit this.
So Josh Mattern settling in here. Lefty throwing the intern.
Tall guy too. When you're playing him, he just looks so long and fast when he's making those shots, those big weight shots or dealing with guards. It's a powerful slide.
Yeah, it's something that really sets this team apart in terms of their sweeping ability as well. Lots of dynamics at play at how they approach sweeping, and I think it's no surprise that they were able to go as far as they did last year and continue this year with the type of skill that Josh and Trevor especially bring.
Yeah, well-balanced team, good chemistry. They've had a lot of experience together as well. It's fun to watch their ceiling keep on rising and rising.
Noah Mason Wood with his first. This will just come off of that yellow stone, it looks like.
Oh, rolls to a really nice spot.
Yeah, excellent shape here for the team throwing red rocks as Team Kleiter forced to go after it. Throwing some big weight to try to rip these out. Perhaps just sort of
conversation.
Maybe assessing if it's worth the risk or what kind of weight. I'm not sure exactly what they'd be discussing. I think you maybe just have to go after it now, right?
Yeah, 2 up, and when you're the higher ranked opponent, it's to go that hard for a steal, to try and throw a guard on top of that with this many rocks to come. Yeah, ill-advised and not even something they considered, I'm sure.
And you have to trust that, this team you're playing, as much as they're a little younger, a little more inexperienced, they certainly have lots of good shots up their sleeve. As we see the jam is certainly on there, red sitting too, and now with a chance to really put the pressure on. I mean, it was certainly worth an opportunity for Team Kleiter. No matter what, that shape was going to be bad, but yeah, Team Hiebert with a chance to really go after them there.
Yeah, that's not a good result. If they were trying to keep their shooter around, I think it was a little greedy. Like, they seem to be sweeping that to keep the shooter in play. I think they thought that middle red would spring a little harder. But it did not. Now, Hiebert, chance to lie 3 with not a really obvious ticket for Kleiter to manufacture something else.
And a nice clinical hit here from Noah Mason-Wood. Good separation on these red stones as Team Kleiter eyeing up the double. Is there a jam on that yellow stone?
Well, let's find out. See what that overhead.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, you'd have to get it really thin. And even if you lose it, who cares?
Thanks for letting us know. That's good.
They're gonna be wide open anyway. Really, what you're doing is forcing your opponent to make their fairly straightforward shots here. You're daring Hiebert to roll out or something on his next hit. Really, you've kind of understood here at this point. If you're Team Kleiter, we're probably not getting 2. Let's just make sure things are risk-free and nice and straightforward for us to. Oh, sorry, I got confused with the hammer there. Yeah, rolled a hurt.
Nice double there from Rylan Kleiter to limit some of the damage. Having to carve that rock over as well. You saw how little ice they took, but a really nice sweep and a clinical double. And now here's another opportunity here just to watch how the hits will float, as you mentioned there, Rory, just how that's sort of signature of the ice here at the Saville Center. Just seeing the ice that Noah has given his skip here in Jaxon Hiebert. You want to get a big float out, but you obviously want to keep the rock in play. And trying to keep the Team Kleiter away from the double is paramount.
Yeah, I think your solution there is, okay, the ice isn't curling as much. It's not as easy to carve the rock. Well, sweep it to hold it straight then. Manage your weight. Just throw a nice, easy weight. Looks like they are. And now your inside sweeper is your primary sweeper. Bad sign.
A little tight. This is not the way to miss. And it looks like they're pretty close to dead nose. A little bit of movement. And now it is the Saskatchewan skipper's turn to make a double here. Another double. Really limit the damage. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, that'll be a learning moment for Team Hiebert. You could see they went on the carve quite early. And you got to be sure. When you hit that early carve, you got to be sure that's what you want, because we've seen it so often is oop, all of a sudden I'm changing my mind at the hog line, and you missed the opposite way. So next time I think they'll be a little more patient with that. Let it cruise for a bit, because I think that was thrown well enough to make the roll outside, but just misswept a bit.
Yeah, certainly on really, really nice ice that is quite receptive to sweeping. Those types of errors can really go a long way. Final stone here for Team Kleiter, a chance for the double, and they will get a nice roll. Will they just glue on? Pretty good. A little bit of space and enough for Team Hiebert to go after it. Chance to score 2 and get a deuce back.
Must have been a little flatter and deader than they thought, because that was about the angle they needed. So unless Rylan underthrew that weight-wise, or, they were just going for a little corner freeze the whole time, I think that was the line for the double. So, yeah, just got a little deader action off the top one than they thought.
So tough to say. I know the rocks here at the Saville Center were not there, unfortunately, but they do look to be pretty lively, at least compared to the majority of clubs will say in the country, but unfortunately that was just not enough bounce off that to make that double.
Well, the other thing I'll say about rocks is the standard is just too damn high right now. Everyone's getting used to these super springy rocks, and now the players will have nothing but. So it's it's a pretty big checkbook installment to get new rocks at your club, but the standard is definitely rising.
And that is quite a clutch shot there from Jaxon Hiebert to get 2 points back. Make it a tie game here going into the third end. We will be right back from Saville Center.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely
So Team Jaxon Hiebert with a deuce of their own in the second end. Nice little bounce back for this team as they look for their first win here at the Saville Shootout. Team Kleiter, meanwhile, looking to go 2-0 as they have the hammer here in the third end. Marty Thompson and Roy McCusker with you on the broadcast. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, it has not felt like an early September game so far. This has been quite well played.
We mentioned it off the hop, but early on in the season is such a great opportunity for teams to kind of hop in against some top tier opposition and usually have the potential for an off game as teams get get their sea legs back, so to speak, for a long off season. I think this is a good example from Team Hiebert, coming out a young team, a new team, not a whole ton of men's experience at this level, but great chance to come in and have some good games against some teams that may give you the odd miss. But as you mentioned, this is certainly not that game at all. Both teams have played quite well, at least to my estimation.
Yeah, a lot of feedback there on lead stones. I noticed that in the first end as well. The three players down here giving Jaxon a lot of input on what they wanted to do. I think Jaxon wanted to tap, and he's been talked into drawing around it. Definitely wanting both stones in the rings here, which is quite interesting.
And just a few extra feet from Braden Hines, so it ends up back 12. Yeah, certainly an interesting shape for the team that does not have hammer to have top 12 and back 12 as Team Kleiter looks to come around the corner here with lead Trevor Johnson throwing his second. Lead stones so important, though, such a team effort to make these stones just right.
Oh, the way curling is played today with the draws and taps and freezes, positioning, the new rules with no tick in the free guard zones. Yeah, lead's never been more important. It's completely and truly a 4-person game. I know we used to say, okay, well, lead's important too. But maybe we're just trying to be nice. I truly, it's there's no getting around it. You need 4 guys. You need 4 competent players out there to win a game.
Well, and you can certainly start to see how much, lead stones are so much more important, especially that second and third, like you mentioned, that 3-person team at the end, they really all have such a role to play on making those lead stones as good as they can, because it really does shape the end for them in the shots that they're going to have to make in such a way that I think in the past it mattered for sure. You're going up against the player in the other team in the same position for sure, but now you can just see the ripple effects, I think, a lot clearer throughout an end if you have a missed shot or 2 at the lead percentage. Hopefully not 2, but if you have an off shot or something, like 1.5, it can really snowball, and you see it more and more now.
Yeah, it's tougher to come back from, and the shots themselves are more complex. Like, it wasn't too long ago in curling where 4 rocks in play was considered a lot. So it was basically hit and rolls until the other guy missed. In the last decade or 2, we've seen the game become much more complex, and the shot making a lot more precise, in the sense where you can really, there's so many more dimensions, so many more variables to making and missing a shot. Like for example, that one we saw right there, it's a backline weight. Yes, they touched the red stone. They didn't end up positioned on top of it. They've pushed the red. They've made themselves shot. Like that's a lot of things to consider. A lot of different things to get right in order to make a curling shot.
Just finding, trying to find tolerances in shots and working towards that as teams too is whole nother kettle of fish that I'm sure we'll get to later on in the game. We'll solve all of curling's problems. Explain them all and then solve them all at once.
I think that's what I was trying to get at. Tolerance. It's very good. Tolerance is a very good word.
Nate Burton here with the open hit. This will be the all rocks in play here. This will be the first to be removed if they can chip it out, and they will. And it's a decent little roll here for Team Hiebert as they look to be sitting 2. So Kleiter just electing to sort of tap that back and control, or not quite control, but at least put a rock in the middle of the forefoot.
Yeah, keeping a pretty high standard play, this young team so far. Pretty impressive.
Really good execution against some 19-year-olds, some 20-year-olds on this team. Quite young, but if you get the right group together, especially in a place like Edmonton, like you mentioned, having that year-round ice, access to good coaching and good facilities, and you really want to invest your time, it could be quite a good team.
This is how you know it's a young team. He's reaching for the snacks already. I can already see him going into the 4th end cooler backpack. He can't wait. He needs that protein bar right now.
So a nice little come around here from Team Kleiter. They look to get just corner frozen on that red, and they will be. Excellent shot.
Yeah, in a more open house, you'd want to get greedy and create some separation there, so you can maybe hang on to your back yellow. But with all the junk and the red stones out counting, it's that one's as good as gone anyway. That'll be a pretty solid wall back there, occupying right, straddling the tee line. So might be able to get one more freeze in there if you're Hiebert, but made shot, called and made. Team Kleiter.
Lots to consider for this young team.
Yeah, this is big time decision time. Tie game, you've been having some success so far. You want to keep your foot on the gas, right? But you also don't want to take unnecessary risk this early. it's a good discussion here. I like the two heads coming together.
Noah Mason Wood, third for this team, coming down to chat with this skip. What do you sort of see as your preferred option here, Rory, considering the scoreboard? And as you mentioned, the team has been playing pretty well so far.
Well, you're looking at where Kleiter thinks the honey hole is, and that's got to be behind the corner guard. So, no matter what you do, that's where Kleiter's going. They're either trying to hit and roll there, they'll draw another one in there, and yeah, you got to do something about it. I think I would come freeze one into the pocket. There's nothing wrong with this call here of taking away the corner guard and start chipping away at those yellow stones.
Mason Wood with the throw here. Again, getting rid of that yellow stone, corner guard. Key to see where this red stone rolls to as well, especially with this line call calling it straight right out of his hand. And it will roll just a few feet, if that. That yellow stone is still exposed, but there still technically is a corner guard to play.
So if they were playing the roll to center guard, I think you got to throw normal max. Treat it like a hit and roll. Would you throw more than normal on a normal hit and roll? No, you wouldn't. So to try and get the peel weight to make sure you get rid of the guard, but also let's roll it to the middle. You just cut your area down so much. You got to hit like a half of an inch of a rock. If you're going to play that roll to the middle, I think throw like a nice control weight and just play it like a hit and roll. That's my take.
No, that's a good point. You've seen teams really adopt that nice sort of like down weight hit for stuff in the house and such, but that really hasn't translated to guards in the same way, except for doubles, obviously, when they play the power play and play the tick, but that's a really good point.
It's by the way, that opinion comes from missing like 20 of those in a row.
Congratulations.
You think that it's gonna behave the same, but just that different look, like you're in the hack thinking, this is irregular. It just seems easier to miss.
So now this is a bit of a tricky situation here for Team Hiebert as they look to go after that yellow stone that's completely frozen on the red. Now the chances of, I don't know if you nose this, does that yellow likely stay in play? Does it just sort of tumble down below the yellow stone that's in the forefoot?
That's a really good question. I can't wait to find out. I hope he makes this.
That would certainly be a tricky situation for this team. Mason Wood here.
2 big weight shots in a row.
Out-turned hit. Chance to correct off his first. And where is this going to go?
No. Must have just ticked the red.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't quite catch it, hey? So.
No, I think that's what happened, Rory. I think it touched the red.
We do have
yellow
replay
behind it.
We have the technology. He was blocking it. It must have.
So good news is that they did scoot that red stone that was previously corner frozen on the outside now to the inside, but it is awfully exposed here for Team Kleiter. Potential for a big end here, it looks like. I know there's some rocks behind the tee line, but
this looks like ice for a guard, doesn't it?
We shall see, I suppose.
Yeah, if that's getting all the way around the outside one, that's a very straight throw. Yeah, I guess. Oh, they're playing some weight.
Trevor Johnson putting in the work here to bring this rock over, and they will. And that is a pretty nice stagger on those yellow stones as well. I really like that call.
Yeah, when they put the broom down, I thought they were playing much less weight. I thought they were basically playing a draw, maybe just to collide a little bit in there. But I guess this was part of it, to stack these yellows and not leave an easy double. Whether intentional or not, that is a really nice place for that yellow stone. Not quite enough room to hit the inside of it and scoot it out the side of the rings. That yellow stone is going nowhere.
So no time to rest here for Jaxon Hiebert. They have been putting the pressure on and getting the pressure put on them so far in this game. As the skipper has a chance to remove some yellow stones, and he will move them around. He kind of smudges them, misses the intended target. But unfortunately, that jam at the back keeps that third yellow stone in play as Kleiter's now sitting 3. Is that right? Yeah, he is.
It's a super unlucky touch. Like, he missed outside, right? So it's a bit of a miss, but just the way that those rocks kind of bounced off each other, it made it even harder. I think it's worse than it was before. Really good separation on all of them. I don't see anything except for pretty difficult slash doubles where your shooter goes out of the house anyway. It's tough to see them giving up less than 2.
Rylan Kleiter trying to figure out the best way to position themselves now. Hitting that red stone and going all the way across to maybe just try to keep the middle open in case.
Yeah, man, you do not want to leave Hiebert anything to hide behind. Any end-saving kind of shot. So to hit this red one, you got to be okay with your shooter leaving the rings entirely. To stick it around would just be bonus.
Oh, you certainly make a good point. If you get a thick part of this red stone, they certainly have a bailout. But if not, if they do manage to go, maybe your best outcome is almost to be just on the outside of that red guard. Anyways, a couple ways you can make this shot. Final stone here from Rylan Kleiter, keeping this straight right away. Again, trying to avoid that potential miss as we mentioned. Last second carve, that's some good line calling.
Yeah, it looks really close. Kind of non-threatening over there. That's really nice.
An excellent location here from Rylan Kleiter. He has not made many steps wrong so far this game. He is now sitting 4. All the pressure on this young team here. Eyeing up a triple maybe.
It's really good. I mean, if Hiebert's going to try and draw around the guard and save the end that way, there's a half rock run back that's available to Kleiter. If he rolls like half rock less, it's not available. So not only did he roll to the guard, he rolled past the guard, which was intentional and pretty smart. You're just trying to take away the miracle shot to save the end. Team Kleiter's honestly not going to be too heartbroken if Jaxon makes this triple. Open draw for 2. They'll take that all day.
And that was about the best spot for that Kleiter stone to go.
Speaking of the triple, I see this top one going underneath. What about you?
Yeah, most likely.
I think if you hit it at the right angle to contact both, you just have to throw it so dang hard. I don't know if it's there.
And the shame of this too is that your shooter, you know, it's probably going to be compromised as well. This has to be quite good from this team here out of Edmonton. Their final stone in the third end. The skipper, Jaxon Hiebert. So I pay in the big bucks. Pressure's on. Triple opportunity. And they will scoot the one out. And it will be a draw for 4 here for Kleiter.
Yeah, I mean, Team Hiebert, like, you're playing a distinctly higher ranked opponent. And I thought that they've come out of the gates swinging. They got a deuce right back when they gave up their deuce previously. I thought they played quite good in that first end. This third end, you know, they had that discussion of what they wanted to do about the Kleiter stones around the corner guard. And, you know, they chose a quite conservative call. You know, in my opinion, they worked a little backwards. They had done so much to build a pretty good scenario. Remember, they were shot rock in the 4-foot and had like an open sort of draw or tap on the Kleiter stone. They chose to peel, and then a couple half rock and, you know, the 2 sort of flashes, of course, really put them in the doghouse. But I think what I'm getting at here is when you play aggressively and you're trying to play up to your opponent, you know, you got to accept that if you miss 2 shots in a row, you're going to be facing a bunch like this.
The brooms are down from this Saskatchewan team, and look at them go. Quite a bit of speed on it, but not enough. The rock will come to a stop, looks like in about the 3-guard zone. So Rylan Kleiter misses the draw, but his team still scores 3. We will be right back in the 4th end.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, easy use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages at corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Helmet, Moet, Shoe, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first Saskatchewan to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and après curl parties you won't want to miss.
And welcome back to the 4th end of play here at Saville Shootout at the Saville Center in Edmonton. We have the local team here in Team Hiebert with the hammer. Unfortunately, they gave up 3 in the 3rd end. Could have been 4 with that missed draw, though, as they take on Team Rylan Kleiter, the favorites in this class. For sure, one of the favorites for the whole event here at Edmonton. This Team Hiebert, certainly a young squad, and Rory, as you were mentioning there in the last end, just playing quite aggressively and really trying to match their opponent, but it comes with some downsides. But at the same time, I think they've played pretty well thus far, right? Considering they have been, certainly attempting shots that have a high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, they've hung right in there with them. It was just getting trapped on that wing last end. They got a little fixated, couldn't make the intern hits a couple in a row. And it's just, Kleiter's too good of a team to miss 2 shots in a row against. So I guess you could even call it 2.5 misses in a row, 2 3/4 maybe, and bam, there you go, looking at 4. However, little favor, Rylan Kleiter misses his draw, keeps Hiebert in this game.
Just looking around to some of the other games going on here. This is the 3rd draw of play at the Saville Center. The 2 teams in this group here in Wouter Goosens and Jacob Libes. The Dutch team there in Goosens is up 5-2 heading into the 4th end. Libes have the hammer. Jordan McDonald's also up 6-1. There's lots of great games to be watched here. Of course, all available through Curling Stadium. This is, of course, one of your feature games, though. Only a few have commentary. Only a few have some friends to watch along with, right, Rory?
No, I noticed people keep each other company in the comment section. I love to see that. We've brought the curling fans out of their shells. I've had people say they've never made a comment on YouTube until Curling Stadium. I love to hear that.
Oh, that's good news. So 2 corner guards here from Hiebert, obviously in more aggressive shape. That second one is awfully deep, though, just the one that was just thrown. And Matt Hall with a chance to continue focus up through the middle of the rink. Center line look awfully yellow here.
Ooh, did that just pick? It may have just been light and grab, but that changed direction very quickly. It surprised the sweepers. And may have just been light, I suppose, but That really changed direction quick. I think it caught a little bit of something.
Yeah. Not the worst spot for that stone.
Yeah, with both the corner guards so wide, there really is no tick shot that you'd play. You may as well just jam up the middle, do everything you can. That's that fifth rock I was talking about early in the game, Marty. That would have been a peel all day in the pre-5 rock rule era. Now you got to do something with it.
Mason Hall with a big sweep to keep this straight and maybe add a few more feet to it. It looks like it will just wrap around the second stone.
It's a great shot.
Will stop, yeah, just biting the edge of the 4-foot. Now for Team Kleiter, trying to get rid of these yellows, I guess. Or drawing it.
It's a good sweep and a good throw. Down 3 like this, not choosing not to move around the yellow stones. You have to be precise. You just have to make those shots, and that's what they're doing. No peel from Team Kleiter. Taking the bait, going right down the middle.
Yeah, the call is just to chase right down. You saw Kleiter intimate hitting that corner guard and having the shooter roll down, but I do like this call. Can get him to throw something similar, and he will do just that. And a really nice, precise shot there from Matt Hall. Makes all the difference in controlling the front.
It's a brave call, but when you make it that good, it seems really smart.
Yeah, enough said. So we have Jaxon there calling for a back 8. And just to try to smudge some of these stones around, I guess. I think if they get to nose, they could end up with a pretty good shape, the red stones.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like if you're Team Hiebert, you're happy. You're happy to see Kleiter not hitting. You're happy to see them playing into this pile. This is your ticket for a big end. There's lots of rocks in play, so it's game on right now. High degree of shot making is going to be required, but the opportunity exists. This is the mess that you dream of when you're down 3.
Big sweep required to bring this rock over, though. Well, he started it pretty good.
Yeah, shooter. Well, gets sort of behind their corner. I think you wanted the shooter to stay on top of the pile there.
Might have been a little bit more weight than they're expecting. Obviously hard to tell on broadcast, but maybe that wasn't quite. They're expecting a little bit less, but
that's what it looked like to me. Yep.
So Josh Mattern settling in here. Get rid of that red stone is job number 1. Veteran call there from Matt Hall to call it hot early. Really key to do that, I think, on ice like this where it might float, but he's awfully tight, actually.
Ooh. Kind of lucky the way that ticked into the center line area. Definitely not a good result, though. You got to hit a red there, even if you roll out.
Certainly could have been a worse miss. It really complicates things here for Team Hiebert.
Yeah, this does not feel like a best on best kind of way of playing from Team Kleiter. I'm just imagining if they're playing like a top 10 team and they're up 3 like this, are they playing to the middle and not hitting anything like that? Like that was even a pretty soft weight hit. They wanted to stick. They wanted to roll. It feels like Team Kleiter's kind of challenging themselves to play a certain way in this situation. It doesn't seem reflective of the scoreboard, really.
Yeah, it's a good point. No. Well, they're up by 3, right? It's certainly pretty standard principles to avoid some risk, but they're certainly playing with it. You make a really good point. So a chance to carve over here, remove some yellow stones, and they will, but they do jam an unfortunate jam there in the 8-foot. Could also be one of those things too where, Kleiter just came back from Italy and they had quite a decent run out there. I know this is an early event, but big year for them as a team. And, they're off to a good start, maybe just sort of feeling their shot making to a certain extent as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, perhaps.
Yeah, and I mean, it's disclaimer here, like these guys curl so much and they're at the forefront of thinking about curling as a game, and things don't happen by accident. Like they know what they're doing. They're not just ishing their way through this game. So maybe it's your commentator that has something to learn here about playing three up without hammer in the fourth end.
No, you commentator, good. You make a good point. So this will be a nice little hit and roll and a really good recovery from Josh Matcher. And that'll feel pretty good after his first hit was a little overcooked.
Yeah. That's what they wanted the first time. Still looking quite good for Team Kleiter here.
So Mason Wood here running the red and hoping for something good, it looks like. In turn, big weight. And don't know if they got the strongest release, but it still needs to come over. And they did tick one out, but Kleiter's still sitting 3. And now Skip Stones, there's a real chance to plug this hole that we see here just on the left side of our screen now. You could really put things in your control.
So I guess we're seeing the fruits of Team Kleiter's kind of strategy this end. They've played to the middle. Yes, they missed a single shot, but here we are. Both corner guards still remain for Team Hiebert, and they don't have enough rocks left to use them. So it's in a way, best defense is a good offense kind of thing. Like, you force play to the middle for so long that your opponents now run out of ways to use the corner guards. So, it's a victory. It's a victory for Team Kleiter. They control the middle. That's where play's going to go. And even better, they get the first crack at it here at Skip Stones.
Team Kleiter, as you mentioned, some Grand Slam appearances, a Tier 2 champion as well last year. They're ramping up for the first Grand Slam of the year coming up in London. And their group is is a little stacked. We've got Team Jacobs, Team Epping, and Team White. And that might be one of the weaker groups, you could argue. They are going to be certainly up against some really stiff competition in London. And they certainly, as we mentioned before, time and time again, they're a team on the up and up, but lots of opportunity for growth and lots of opportunity, especially leading up to the Grand Slam where, spoiler alert, if you win a couple games there, you're lots of cash in it, right? There's good opportunities for these teams that are sort of in what you maybe call that Tier 2, that second tier, to sort of jump up in there and not only make some money, but get some confidence and move forward towards what hopefully for them will be quite a fruitful year for them in Saskatchewan and elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the Grand Slam having multiple Tier 2 events this year. Just the idea of, in theory, the top 30 teams in the world all being in one place 3 separate times this year, that's tough to beat. And like you were saying, the Tier 2, the rewards, it's not only, athletic awards. Like, your team gets recognition, your sponsors get recognition, you get recognition from your competitors. You network, you meet new people. Maybe your team doesn't have the best dynamic and you're looking for something new for the next year, the next quadrennial. It's just a big kind of mixing pot of the best curlers in the world. And the more we do that, the better. We're gonna see a lot of cool stuff come out of that.
Rylan Kleiter's first of 2 here in the fourth end. They have a 3-point lead, sitting 3. Chance to come down and add to this mess that they've made for this local team.
We talked about the intern for a long time. Ended up opting for this out turn. They knew they wanted to promote a rock, but didn't want to leave a pocket or a way to roll in or on top. So instead of moving their rock in the top 4 that was in a pretty good spot already, they choose to get there another way. So out turn draw, they drew right to where they wanted to tap the other one to. Textbook, really nice make. Not a lot of places to hide here for Hiebert.
So looking at a potential just rip up the middle and seeing if there's something left over for you, I guess. There's not, as you mentioned, there's not really a place you can even draw to. Looks like that is the call. So red into that lineup of yellows. It's possible to really get a lot of them moving and maybe push some of them back behind the tee line at the very least. Or put one there. Or there.
Yeah, I think that back button area is your only place to hide here. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it.
So the full huddle is in effect. I mean, I think you can kind of see where they're coming from just by trying to hit this and maybe change what the 4-foot looks like to a certain extent. But precision required regardless.
Depends if you think 1 point is enough to keep you in the game.
Yeah, right.
Against the sort of equal opponent, probably. Against Kleiter, very, very slim maybe. So really it's like, just depends how much risk you think going for 2 poses versus the risk of playing the rest of the game down 2 without hammer.
So Skip Jaxon Hiebert gets set here in the hack, as mentioned originally from Sexsmith, Alberta. It's a community about 2,600 near Grand Prairie. Clearing out the front to start, and then more work to be done here on his second. Lots of rotation on this rock. I see it coming down, and they will clear just the 1 out off the front.
Yeah, looking pretty ugly.
So Matt Hall, in addition to this team, is kind of seen as that sort of big brother role. I know he's been mentioned all broadcasts with that sort of position, but here's where he'll sort of come in and maybe this is the chance to, again, just supply a little bit of pressure, right? He's already sort of saying, how can we make this 4-foot shape a little bit harder? This is a really good suggestion here to his skipper. Try to really smudge up that little yellow ring, fill it with yellow rocks.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything wrong in just taking away the in-turn draw? Like just plopping one top 12, 3 guard, kind of, edge of the button line?
I think this is maybe comes to a little bit more of the aggression that you were talking about with this team. I think if they do manage to push those yellow stones around in the 4-foot, I'm thinking what he's suggesting is maybe you could be in a position where the draw is quite hard, and you might have a chance to actually steal a couple, right? I think it's really trying to ensure a decent steal. But I certainly agree with you, especially where the scoreboard is, to just take away that draw. But
yeah,
we know how this team is playing.
Yeah. I think you reminded me of a good point, like of what we were talking about earlier. You're playing to win, but you're also playing to perform your best, and you're holding yourself to a standard of shot making that ideally you don't want to change. So there's nothing wrong with continually calling what you know is the best result of a shot. And here, they're a little light. That's the second time he was more than 6 feet light on that 8 rock. If I was on the sheet there, I'd be pretty eager to take that one away from him.
Yeah, they're coming into the fourth end break, and I think that is maybe what they're already talking about. Uncharacteristically light on both.
Yeah, that one, the sweepers weren't as panicked right away either. They kind of waited for the second half to really crush that one.
So Team Hiebert and the skipper presented with yet another lifeline from this Kleiter side. The draw to the button is certainly available for the Edmontonians. Final stone here in the fourth end. Clutch draw against 3 counters. Both sweepers down early. Braden Hyde on the inside. Nate Burton on the outside.
Line looks good. Seems close.
How much will it fall back behind the tee line is the question, and it will sail just outside of the 4 foot. So 3 points given up here from Team Hiebert. We will be going into the 5th end here shortly. We'll be right back.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible. And with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Welcome to the rockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at tsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing in.
And welcome back to the Saville Shootout, Saville Center here in Edmonton, Alberta. One of the first events of the year here. Round robin action between Team Jaxon Hiebert and Team Rylan Kleiter. This is their second game of the day. And as we've seen here, Rylan Kleiter certainly with some clutch shot making, up 8-2 here over the team from Edmonton. Both these teams will be back in action tomorrow at 12:15 local time. My apologies, Rylan Kleiter will be at 12:15 local time. He'll be taking on the Dutch side in pool play. And yes, that's correct. Jaxon Hiebert, his team will be back in action bright and early, 8 a.m. tomorrow Mountain Time. And they will be taking on Jacob Libis. And that completes their pool. Of course, adding Ryan Parent, who's also in action. He's lost his first 2 games to the first day. Taking a quick look to some of the scores we've seen here elsewhere. Jordan McDonald up 10-1 in his game against Peter Hulshak. Evan Van Amsterdam up 4-0 versus Cameron DeYoung. And the other big score of note, it looks like Matthew Blanford's up 2-1 on Scott Dunham. We'll keep you updated with more scores as they come in here from the third draw in this first day here at the Saville Center. So Team Hiebert, as we mentioned, playing with, certainly forced to play with a little bit of fire with these two corner guards. Last time around, bit of a struggle there for Braden Hine, just was a little deep on his second. You see just how precise that first one was, just off of the little coins that mark where mixed doubles power play stone should go. And this looks like a pretty nice stone here, as again, those two corner guards are in play and in a nice position there for this team. Matt Hall settling in, the Kitchener native, joining this team of Saskatchewanites. Is that right?
Well, I'm glad you're here, Marty. I just lost a bunch of my buttons. And had to filibuster for a bit. So, sorry, folks, you didn't miss much. You missed two corner guards, some Yellow Rocks occupying the center, and then a decent little bunt shot. I don't really know what that one's called. I call it the bunt because you're really just punching it into the rings.
It's kind of more of like a swinging bunt, but I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
Braden Hine made his first two of those two corner guards. Speaking of baseball, Nate Burton is a competitive baseball player himself. He's throwing his first of two here.
You know what's really popular amongst the curlers, I've noticed, is fantasy leagues amongst each other, baseball being a big one. There's a SAS competitive tour baseball league that's legendary at the SAS Curling Tour events. Guys are barely talking about curling, they're just talking about fantasy baseball.
I'll only allow for one follow-up for myself. Is it a dynasty league?
I think it is.
Wow, that's impressive. I hope it's like 30 teams or something, like a big one. Just something that's like nuts, you know?
Oh, mid-teens. I don't think it's anything crazy, but no, there's a lot of chirping that goes on due to fantasy baseball.
That's fantastic. That's good to know. I'll keep that in my back pocket.
Tough to be a football fan and a competitive curler. You're ideally playing when all the games are on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Came around here and a chance on the carve here with the single sweeper. Some good doubles sweeping technique there, and that Yellow Rock will roll quite neatly behind the tee line.
I think Team Kleiter's taking turns going to the washroom here. I've only seen 3 of them out at a time. They didn't want the fourth end break, but they're gonna do the hockey change and each go off for a bathroom break.
You know, there's still so. I'll actually take what you said and make it a serious point, just so you know. You know, there's so much to be said about, you know, the future of kind of sweeping in the sport as we see Braden Hine approaching the rock from behind. But, you know, when you have Josh Madden and Trevor Johnson, like, these are two very powerful sweepers, and as you saw, they're very capable of switching sides and being dynamic and being able to, you know, steer the rock, so to speak, as an individual. So yeah, you know what, let them go to the washroom. It's totally fine. That's all I'm saying.
Right now with the way that the inside sweeper can steer it, it seems like the second sweeper is there for just a little bonus effect. It's like the second paddle in a canoe, you know? You're really there for show.
Hey, I mean, the second paddler certainly matters. Speaking from experience.
May have been reaching.
So a chance to rip this guard here, and they will do so. Nice little hit there from Josh Mattern as Hiebert looks for a chance to activate some of these stones. I guess the idea now is see if you can maybe sort of just push some of these stones and create a little wall for yourself. Might be a good idea. I mean, it's tough with Team Kleiter. They have not missed many hits at all. They figured out this ice in terms of how much it's floating, and they've got the line down right, but I think that might be your best bet, is just try to make a blocker for yourself at the back.
Yeah, you need a lot. Down this many. Odd end. Going to put together a huge end, 3 minimum.
Noah Mason-Wood. Chance on the carve here for Nate Burton. He's an under-18 Alberta champion alongside his skipper. And just got that little smudge back, so decent spot, but as you can tell from the overhand there, you just showed us there, Roy, there is a chance for them to kick it out if they want, or even do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of work yet to be done in tapping those back yellows around. Why do that for them? Could just get rid of the open red.
Rylan Kleiter with the chance to go 2-0 in this event. As I mentioned, they'll certainly be one of the favorites coming into this. Jordan McDonald being the other big local name to be playing in this event. Of course, there are a few men's teams playing out in Ontario at the Stu Sells Oakville event, so field, at least domestically, has been split a little bit. Kleiter with a small roll in towards the middle, but still something to work with here for Team Hiebert.
Look at the massive playing surface here at the Saville. It gets pretty loud out there. 10 sheets. All highly competitive curling sheets. Looks like only 8 are in use right now.
One of the best, if not the best, curling facility in this country. As we mentioned, that year-round ability of members to come and use the facilities and to sharpen their skills throughout the season. That is such an advantage. You know, curling is unique in many ways, and one is that there really isn't a hard cap off season in this country. There's a time where people just do not curl, where if you have top level athletes at other sports, there's really no time off. Even if you think about basketball or soccer players or something, even baseball, they do still take time to work on their craft, but at least in Edmonton, that is certainly not necessary. They can get out and get ice, and quality ice for sure.
Yeah, makes the surrounding provinces quite jealous, I will say.
That's their problem, not yours. Yeah, exactly.
The other advantage of the Saville Center here is it's part of a massive sports complex. It is a community sports complex. It's, deeply tied to the University of Alberta, one of the best, sports schools in the country. The security is there. This club is not going anywhere. So that is another nice bit about it, is there's no, fears of the club not making enough money or things moving or changing or having to reduce sheets. No, Saville's here to stay.
Yeah, a nice little double there from the skipper to be once again sitting a bundle coming into the last 2 stones. That's really been the story of the game, I think, so far. Rory has just been the idea that, Kleiter coming into his last stone, even though it's been suspect at times, likely due to the stone itself, just the sheer advantage they have coming into that last one. It's certainly not necessarily a competition once it gets to that point. So the local skipper here, Hiebert, with a chance to salvage something out of this game, try to get a few more points.
And really, it's about learning the ice and getting better for your next game as well. That's what it comes down to. Especially a young team, a coached team. Coach wants you to stay out there. Coach wants you to learn as much as you can and sharpen up for the next game.
And just around that rock that was sitting in the top 12. This Max and Jaxon Hiebert back in action tomorrow at 8 a.m. local time against Libis, and then they'll play again 4:30 Mountain Time tomorrow against Team Parents. So world ranked 46th and 83rd in the world, by the way. Meantime, Rylan Kleiter will finish up their round robin with a game against the Dutch tomorrow at 12:15, and then Team Libis at 4:30 local. Favorites in this game, and one of the favorites in the event. Final stone here from the skipper of this team, Team Kleiter. Chance to just pick this red stone out, and that is awfully precise from the reigning Saskatchewan champs. As Team Hiebert lines up the draw here in the fifth end.
It's the right throw for the right spot. That's becoming. It used to be a lot of curlers' kind of fear is sliding close to the center line but having to throw inside out. Sometimes it gets some weird motion on the stone. There's a technique that most people are using now where you're really sliding kind of inside the broom and tossing it back towards the center line. Keeps the rock really straight, allows for a more consistent sweep, and Rylan just exemplified that technique perfectly on that throw.
Final stone here in the fifth end, and potentially the game here from Jaxon Hiebert. They'll come right into the 8th foot, would be enough to get their points, and they will do just that to score now 1 point in the fifth to make it 8-3, and that is our final score. Rory, any final thoughts from this game?
Just a really strong start from a young team, Hiebert. They scored their deuce against one of the top teams in the country. They hung in with them and gave up a big end, but they knew that was a possibility. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds for this team, Hiebert. They played well today, I thought, against a much higher ranked opponent.
That's it for us for now for the Saville Shootout, but we will have games all weekend long, including the final, so please stay tuned for that and keep tabs here on this very YouTube channel for more games. For myself, Marty Thompson, and Roy McCusker, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all